Hello and welcome to the new video. Today we're gonna take a look at maybe the best grass type in the Go Battle League for the Great League right now, because Venusaur, especially the Shadow Venusaur, is really strong. Like if you go into PvPoke and you just look at the matchups for this Pokemon, it nearly beats everything in like the 1 or 2 shield scenario that isn't a Noctowl. Even like steel types are like the Galarian Stunfisk or the Registeel, you're going to be able to beat with this Pokemon here, which makes it such a good Pokemon right now in the meta. But now also, of course, we're going to have the debuff of Trevenant, means there is kind of a hole for like grass types right now in the meta, which really allows this Pokemon to shine quite well, which is really cool. Like we're going to have a lot of cool gameplay here today with this Pokemon. Very strong team to use as well. We're running here the Shadow variant of the Sableye. You can definitely run the normal variant of it as well. Definitely also a very strong pick there. I wanted to use the Shadow variant because I think it's a little bit better against Noctowl, but yeah, it really depends on what you want to run there. Both of them are totally fine. Shadow and normal, both of them are totally okay. Here we're going to encounter a Frostus in the lead, which we're going to be able to hit super effective with the Rock Slide. So we're going to be able to have a positive matchup here the entire time. While this is not an ABB line, you still kind of play it like an ABB line and you want to kind of keep your Galarian Stunfisk around. Means while we're going to be able to get this Rock Slide off and get a shield, I'm going to try to get some energy advantage here with my Sableye. Sableye with energy advantage is really nice while the opponent sneaks an extra fast move in. Honestly, I have no idea how to count the fast move for a drill run because the animation seems always so delayed. I always get like sneaked in there. Nothing that I can really do about this one. I'm going to blame it on the animation itself, but yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a difficult one for me. We're still gonna get the opponent super low here, which is going to be really beneficial for us, as now Venusaur going to have a shield advantage, energy advantage, the Frost is coming in, giving us even more energy advantage, and basically going to also win us the game here, as they're going to have a Swampert in the bag. Our Venusaur is going to have a great time against this Pokemon, as the Frenzy Plant gonna get shielded by the opponent. We can shield up the move as well, but we can also let the Hydro can go through here, and because we kind of want to just see if I can farm them all the way down, we're just not even going to throw a charge move and go for the BM move at the end, going for the Sludge Bomb. No bubble because they had 1 HP anyway, and we're just going to show some dominance here with our good friend Shadow Venusaur. Next opponent, Dunsparce lead. Pretty horrible lead for us, but it's still okay to deal with. This Pokemon going to be a little bit annoying here. They're going to have super effective moves against us with the Draw Run. We're still going to be able to survive at least 2 with our Galarian Stunfisk here, which is going to be definitely very decent for us. As we're going to see here, we can definitely 2-shot the opponent, and we're going to try to do exactly that. We're not going to use any shields here because the Galarian Stunfisk is our bulkiest Pokemon, and our Pokemon in the bag are pretty squishy, but especially the Shadow Sableye does a lot of damage with the fast moves alone, as the opponent reveals their final Pokemon being their own Sableye here right now, which can be a little bit tricky because they have a 1-turn advantage there, so like 1 fast move no advantage as well, which basically guarantees them to realign their Pokemon if they want to, or keep 1 shield advantage if they want to do that. It really depends on what they want to try to do here right now. We're going to shield up the final move of the opponent here, going to be able to go for the foul play while farming up extra energy, and we're going to encounter now that the opponent going to have in the bag a Marowak, which is literally the worst possible Pokemon to encounter for this team. This team can struggle a little bit with fire-type Pokemon. For example, the Marowak here going to be very strong, but also maybe even like something like a Charizard. Charizard is kind of neutral because, of course, Galarian Stunfisk still has the move Rock Slide, which is going to be very decent for that one and just one-shots them. But yeah, here for example, we just got swept there from the fire-type Pokemon. But fire-type Pokemon in general, you know it yourself, are pretty rare. What is also pretty rare is Togetic, but this is definitely a very beneficial lead for us. We're going to stay in here for a little bit, let the opponent throw 1 charge move, go for our own Earthquake, try to either get the damage onto the opponent so we can farm them down later on, or get the shield advantage here right now. And we're going to be able to get the shield advantage, which is totally fine for us. We're now going to be able to go into our own Sableye right now. We can shield up the move from the opponent, and we should put them now into range where 1 foul play is going to be enough to knock them out. Let's take a look at this one. Foul play coming through here, going to get shielded by the opponent, so they're going to try to get my final shield here as well, which is going to be okay for me, as they're going to be able to overfarm by a little bit here. Going to try to get to the Power Whip, Power Gem there against the incoming Togetic here right now. Togetic needs 5 fast moves to get to the charge move, but they're going to overfarm by a little bit there as well, as they're going to be able to go for the Power Gem here. We're going to swap out because they're only running Dazzling Beam as well as the move Ancient Power, and we should be able to take 2 of the Ancient Powers, which works out really well for us here right now, as they're going to get a ton of energy as a lead here right now, which is really important, as they're going to get now the opponent's Medicham. This is going to be a really difficult difficult one to still win, as you're going to be able to get to one charge move here. I'm going to try to go for one Rock Slide here with my Galarian Stunfisk, but also still going to try to wait out the switch clock just in case I have to swap out into my Sableye. Turns out they have the worst possible moveset for me, which is going to be Power Punch. Ice Punch would have been so much better, but with Power Punch they're going to be able to knock out both of my Pokemon here so far, or not. I will be able to go for the Rock Slide just before they reach the next counter that would knock me out, and we can actually shot down a Flying type Pokemon with our Galarian Stunfisk in order to win this game. Next opponent, we're going to see a Medicham lead. We're going to swap out immediately into our Sableye, and we're going to get greeted here by a Diggersby. This is not ideal for us whatsoever. This is going to be a really tough matchup to still win for us, as we're going to be able to now go ahead and shield up the incoming Earthquake. This is really not an ideal matchup, as our fast move is going to be double resisted against the opponent. The opponent has insane bulk, so they're going to be even able to survive this incoming charge move here as well, which they're going to still shield up, which is going to be fine for us. I'm going to use another shield here. They're going to have to go for another Earthquake after this one as well, but they're always going to be able to realign. I know that of course for sure as well, but I will be able to go for one foul play here right now. Trying to get the final shield here with this incoming foul play as well, as they're going to still have to go for an Earthquake, and this should put them into range where I can can Vine Whip them down here with my Venusaur, as Shadow Venusaur now has an energy advantage. In comes luckily the opponent's Medicham. I can go for the Frenzy Plant. Now I'm forced to catch a charge move here. Can we do that? Let's take a look at this one. We can catch the Psychic most likely coming in here, which is going to be so nice for us, as this is going to do basically no damage. In the back we're going to encounter a Lantern. It couldn't be really better here for us, because you're now going to be able to go for one Earthquake here, which is going to not knock them out, but we're going to get them super low, which is really important for us right now, as this is going to put them into range where I can even farm them down with my Venusaur, which we're going to do here right now as well. Going to be able to get to a Frenzy Plant, but no, we of course going to have to go for the BM move here and go for the Zero Bubble Sludge Bomb just to troll the opponent here. Good game there, and we're going to see now the next game. If you didn't know, by the way, in neutral scenarios the Frenzy Plant is always the better move compared to Sludge Bomb, even though Sludge Bomb needs 5 more energy. Frenzy Plant is just the stronger charge move in general. So you should always go for neutral scenarios, at least for the move Frenzy Plant, but of course not if you want to troll the opponent. Here we're going to have a Lantern in the lead. And this is something where I don't really care too much about this matchup here right now, because I'm going to be able to at least either get 2 shields or get 1 shield and the knockout here. And we're going to take the knockout here plus the shield advantage, which is going to be a little bit tricky here, because now this shield advantage is not going to help us too much against this incoming Noctowl. This is going to be a really tough one to still win now, because Noctowl is the hardest answer for our backline. Maybe I should have stayed in a little bit with my lead still and tried to go for one Rock Slide, but like this, it's going to be a little bit of a tougher one. As we see now the Sky Attack coming through, the next one would knock us out, but we're going to see now the Pelipper coming in here. I'm going to try to go for one charge move here against the opponents, going to be the foul play. I'm going to get the shield from the opponents. They're going to be able to knock me out with one Weather Ball right now. Now it's all or nothing for our Venusaur. Can we still reach 2 charge moves to knock out the opponent's Pelipper as well as the incoming Noctowl? That's going to be the question here. So you're going to overfarm by a little bit, go for the charge move here right now. This is going to definitely knock out a Pelipper. It nearly one-shots a Pelipper from full health. I'm going to try to swap out here so the opponent can't get to another charge move. They're gonna get to another charge move here though, still with the Sky Attack. Can we reach the Sludge Bomb in time here? We can, and we're going to be able to one-shot the opponent here with this Sludge Bomb. Boom, goodbye there, good game there. What a win. Next opponent, we're going to see a Sableye in the lead. I don't really like this matchup, but how we're going to play this here is going to be, we're going to stay in here, go for the Earthquake on the CMP tie, as you're going to see now the opponent going for one foul play. I can go for the Earthquake here right now. This Earthquake is going to go ahead and get a ton of damage onto the opponent. As we're going to see here right now, I'm going to shield up the incoming charge move, which is going to be a foul play, and I can now try to go ahead and hopefully win back switch advantage against the incoming Shadow Alolan Sandslash. This is a pretty bad matchup for me, and here's like one of the things where I really wish I had a normal Sableye, because a normal Sableye would have been easily able to take a hit here, while our Shadow variant is not really able to do that. So now we're going to rely really on our Galarian Stunfisk here and maybe our Venusaur. Can we reverse sweep the opponent with our Venusaur? It's going to be a little bit tough. I'm going to still have to take a charge move here from the opponent, which is going to be most likely the Ice Punch, as I'm going to shield this move up here, and comes the Beedrill, and this is a complete hard counter matchup. There was literally nothing I could have done there, but at least you're going to have the chance to get some revenge against the Sandslash here, it seems like. We're going to be able to play this out in the 2-shield scenario here. Because our fast move is going to do super effective damage against the opponent, we're going to be able to just go ahead and try to go for the 2-shield scenario here, so you're going to do a ton of damage already, just even with the Rock Slide together with the fast move alone. We're going to shield up the next charge move coming in here. It's going to be the Drill Run from the opponent, which is going to now make us shieldless, which is going to not be really ideal. They're going to let this move go through, and I'm going to try to farm them all the way down, and the Sableye is able to farm them all the way down. But in comes now a Galarian Weezing. This Pokemon is kinda a core breaker for the entire team in certain scenarios, because as you're going to see here right now, this Pokemon has access to the move Overheat, but I make a huge mistake here by going straight into my Stunfisk. If I didn't go straight into my Stunfisk, I'm pretty sure I would have been able to win this game here still. But like this, I am not able to swap out of this matchup, which gives the opponent a chance to knock me out here. And also, I'm not really able to get to any move here with my Venusaur. The Galarian Weezing had so much energy already. There's not a lot that I can do there. If I still waited out a little bit longer, I think I still had a chance, but even then I think it was kind of impossible to still win this game. At least we're going to have a time here, like another chance here to retaliate against a Sableye lead, as you're going to go ahead and go for an Earthquake. Luckily their throw, it's the most annoying thing if they don't throw and build up to 2 charge moves, because then you cannot really flip anymore. But like this, we're going to be able to just shield up the charge move from the opponent, going to be a foul play here, and we're going to get out the Lantern. I don't like this. I really don't like this, because our team is super good against Lantern, other than Sableye. Like, Sableye is going to be neutral still against it, but I wish I had it like against my Venusaur or something, because like this, the opponent going to be able to, yeah, just let this move go through, get rid of the Lantern. Got basically rid of my Sableye in the same time as well, and this is not really looking good. I'm going to swap out here immediately. It's going to be their Galarian Stunfisk. Their swapped out here immediately is so insanely good, because now I'm going to be able to reach the Earthquake before the opponent can reach their Earthquake. They're going to even let this move go through here, allowing me to now get them into a farm down range for the Venusaur. Let's take a look here. The Earthquake is coming through, going to knock me out, and can go ahead and go into my Venusaur here, try to farm them all the way down, as this incoming Rock Slide is going to not do enough damage, and now the Sableye is going to forfeit here, because we would have been able to outspeed them with our charge moves. This is going to be a very good game. Again, a lead here that is kinda, yeah, neutral, I would say. Stunfisk against Stunfisk. I'm going to play it a little bit differently though. I'm going to go straight for the Earthquake and then going to swap out, because again, this is not an ABB line, but it kind of plays like an ABB line. So we're going to swap out here now. Gonna get out the Azumarill. This is where also the Shadow variant is not really as ideal, because Power Gem is a pretty bad move, where Return just really hits harder compared to, like, yeah, the Power Gem there. But the opponent decides to go for an Ice Beam bait, which didn't work out against me. I just let the move go through, and I'm going to be able to get to another charge move here with the Power Gem, allowing me to get the final shield. And that's not all. I can go for another foul play, and because the opponent going to try to farm me down here, and I still survive one more bubble, I swap out, snipe the opponent's Azumarill with 100 energy right now. I have a ton of energy on my Venusaur. I have a ton of shield still left here, and we are in such a prime position here to sweep the end game with our Venusaur. Let's take a look at this one. Frenzy Plant gonna do a ton of damage against the opponent's Galarian Stunfisk here. As the Earthquake coming through, we're gonna be able to shield this move up. In comes the Pelipper, as we're going to be able to reach this Frenzy Plant, and we can say goodbye to that, because boom, that one-shots them. In comes the Galarian Stunfisk, and they have nothing they can do anymore. What a sweep by the Venusaur here and the end game. Very nice setup by the Shadow Sableye as well. In the lead here, we're going to encounter Deoxys. This game was also insanely cool, by the way. Stay tuned for this one. We're going to be able to go for an Earthquake here, which is going to do some pretty decent damage, but they're going to shield this move up. This is a pretty okayish scenario for you as a Galarian Stunfisk in the zero shield scenario, as they only have charge moves that are going to be resisted or even double resisted. I like this incoming charge move here with the Thunderbolt. The only single resisted move is Psycho Boost, which would of course debuff themselves, and they're gonna go ahead and do exactly that here right now, because they're gonna go for the Psycho Boost, and I can now swap into my own Sableye, then swap out into a Dugong, and I will be able to reach this Power Gem in time. Because I didn't really count their moves and I didn't want them to get an overfarm here, I'm gonna swap out immediately into my Venusaur. I'm gonna be able to go ahead and shield up the Icy Wind, and I'm gonna farm up a little bit extra here. No, I'm not gonna farm up extra at all. I'm just going to go straight for the charge move because I didn't count the fast moves, but I think I could have went for a little bit more as well there. I think that just went straight for the charge move there against me. In comes the Deoxys. I can get at least a little bit more energy here, but they're going to have a Sand Slash in the bag. This is basically game over at this point of time. Sand Slash is going to have a super effective move against me. I only have resistant moves against them, and it's really tough to come back from this one. But I'm going to be able to catch the charge move from the opponent. It's going to be the Ice Punch. I'm going to try to reach for the foul play. They have to please. They're going to throw here while we have 1 HP. What a throw by the opponent, because I didn't have to throw anything here. We're going to be able to reach another Frenzy Plant against the opponent. That's going to knock them out. Can we still farm on the opponent before they get to a move? Yes, we can. And Venusaur again coming in clutch at the end game there. What a game. What a team in general. Can highly recommend it to you. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. There are 2 videos on the screen right now. Check them out if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.